Hello everyone, my name is Smithy and welcome back to another video. Today we've got something slightly different on the channel and we're going to be doing some theory crafting around the new event on Runescape, Leagues III. There's no official Leagues title at the moment for it, unlike the previous one, which has been Twisted League and Trailblazer. We're still awaiting that information. But if you're not familiar what a League is, it's essentially a limited time game mode on old school RuneScape with accelerated XP gaining. There's certain relics in the game as well that give you certain buffs, whether that be combat or skilling. And there's also a list of tasks that you complete that give you points that allow you to unlock more of these things called relics. With Leagues 3, they're taking a slightly different approach with these relics, that you find different fragments, and fragments when combined together create actual relics that then give sort of a unique set of buffs that we're not sure what they're going to be yet. Normally those get released maybe a few hours before the actual league starts. So today we're not going to be going through the relics because, I mean, we're shooting the moon if we start trying to go through those, but we have been told, the information we've been given so far from Jagex is that you're going to be starting off with only 3 skills, and then you're able to unlock other skills with points and also unlock bosses later down the line as well throughout the league. Another big thing about this league is that the whole map is available. Unlike Twisted League, we were locked to Zaya. Unlike Trailblazer, where we only could unlock, 3 different areas of the map. And we only started off in a certain subsection of the map, and we spawned in Lumbridge. We know that we're not going to be spawning in Zaya or Korend, and also Lumbridge, because we've been told that information. And I think where we are going to start is going to play a big role in the skills that we, have to offer, or are offered at the start of the league. Okay, so before we dive into kind of my theory crafting, WeSkill Now has made a really good video on this as well, which I actually saw the other day. It's the only one that I'd seen up on YouTube of him going through what he thinks are going to be the 3 picks for the skills that we start with. But as I was writing up my theories, Only Trails has also made one as well. So go and check those guys' videos out. They're really good. They can also give kind of a different aspect on what they're thinking. So yeah, go and check those guys out. I'm going to put their video links in the description. So go and give them a click. Go and give them a watch. And yeah, let's theory craft. So I've been having a think, okay, looking at the skills. All right, just before we go into everything, these are kind of the skills that they flashed up, or kind of like how it's going to look when they were doing the Summer Summit presentation on Leagues 3. You can see how everything's got like a padlock on it, and I'm guessing that, to unlock those padlocks, you got to use points that you accumulate through doing tasks. Looking at them, I mean, we can see a lot of the resource gathering and also the kind of processing skills with, say, fishing and cooking. They're locked, but I don't know if this is Jagex being sneaky and they've shown that these ones are locked, but they're not really going to be locked, you know what I mean? They're just kind of baiting us out and saying, oh, well, we can't be fishing because that one's locked, and you can see on this screenshot. So maybe they're trying to throw us off. So I kind of had a thought with that, with maybe that it's you start off as a resource-locked kind of Iron Man with fishing and woodcutting and mining. But thinking about it again, fishing, it's not really a contested skill. There's not like a limited resource when you're fishing. Unlike, say, a tree when you're doing woodcutting. You can only chop so much from a tree before it depletes, and then you've got to wait for it to replenish. Same with ores as well. And they have said that the skills that you start with aren't going to be bottlenecking skills as well. And those 3, they could be seen as bottlenecking skills. And you're not going to be stuck when you start off as well. So you're not going to be able to progress your account because you've been given some noddy skills that, say for example, construction. You're not going to be given construction straight off the bat, because trying to train construction without things like woodcutting are going to be a pain in the arse. And they've said they don't want to make it tedious as well, the initial start of the league. They don't want to make it tedious, which is fair enough, because they want to get people invested in the game who haven't been necessarily before, or are returning to the game because of leagues. And I've seen that with the last Trailblazer League as well, where a lot of people have come back to the game to try out Trailblazer, and then they got back into the game fully. So it's kind of the gateway back into Gillinor, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to take this off again, and we're back to the lovely, all the 73s across the board. So, saying that, I don't think fishing, mining, or woodcutting are going to be ones that we start off with. So I think we can go ahead and drop some fat X's on woodcutting and fishing, and where's the other one? Mining. I think we can drop a cross on those, because resource locked at Hot Iron Man, that's not fun. Just gathering resources. No thank you. And I think with that, we can probably say the cooking we're not going to start off with, because if you can't fish anything, what's the point in cooking? I know you could kill monsters, but, you know, doesn't float with me, Chief. And I think with woodcutting not being in, fire making can get in the bin as well. I mean, there are log spawns, but who really wants to use log spawns until 99 fire making? No one with a pulse. And then with mining, I think we can cross off smithing as well, because, you know, you're not going to be able to get ore to then make bars and that without that. And then that brings us on to kind of the next kind of, you know, production skills of, say, fletching. So fletching, I don't think is going to be a starting skill, because if we don't have smithing to make arrow tips, for example, or dart tips, and we don't have woodcutting to get, you know, what are the wooden bits called? You know what I mean? Make bows and also make arrow shafts and things like that. I don't think fletching's going to be a starter. I don't think fletching's going to be a starter. And I mean, like I said with construction as well, if we can't make chop wood, that means we can't make planks. We can't really do construction efficiently to start off with. Like I said, they don't want to make things tedious. Another one with rune crafting. Yeah, rune crafting's making runes and that, but you need mining really to do rune crafting properly. And if we haven't got mining to start off with, I don't think we're going to be, you know, starting off with rune crafting. Another one is, where are we? If we don't have fletching, I don't think range is going to be one, because you can't make your ammunition, you can't make upgrades. And another thing that I've missed just before that is crafting too. I don't think we're going to start with crafting. Everyone piling on cows, murdering cows, then making hides. I don't see that happening. And also making things like gold bars and stuff to then make jewelry. If we don't have mining and smithing, you don't need smithing for that. No, you do. You need 40 to make gold bars. If you don't have those two, I don't think you're gonna have crafting. Which also means for range armor as well. I don't think we're gonna have that. Slayer, I don't think we're gonna start with Slayer. Slayer will be a good one to unlock early, because you can get a lot of resources from Slayer. And then once you start gathering your resources, you then start to think, okay, I've got 1,000 Taramins. I guess I better unlock herb lore, for example. That's kind of a thought that I had with unlocking things early and that. I think Slayer's going to be a good one to get done early. Just because it's going to progress your account getting ready for bossing too. Another one is Hunter. I don't see that being a starting skill. Do you? Really? Realistically? Also, if we don't have range, what's the point in catching 3.3 million chins, for example? You know what I mean? Yeah, so then we kind of get down to the ones that I kind of could see us starting off with. Let's face it, RuneScape combat is a massive element in RuneScape. But I don't think we're going to start off with all three melee types. I can definitely see defense being one that's cancelled out straight away. Just because, you know, there's going to be some people who are going to want to build that one defense pure kind of thing on leagues, just to, you know, when they hit up the bosses, it's a fun little element in it. So for that reason, I'm going to cross off defense. Okay, so going through some of the things that I was thinking about, one thing that I could see is maybe hit points, because hit points gives you life, you know. You need hit points to stay alive. Magic is another one, because people could argue, oh, you need magic to get around the map. But there's plenty of other options that you can use, especially if there's relics like Last Recall, for example, that doesn't use magic to use teleports. And also, I've heard the argument of the home teleport. Ooh, you can't use the home teleport if you don't have magic, but it doesn't give you any XP. So I don't think that's going to be locked. And they've also said, by the way, just to you know, add in here, even though you can't get XP from, say, wood cutting, you can still chop a tree. It doesn't mean that you can't chop trees, you know. But if you can't level up, you're only going to be able to chop normal logs, which is why that, say, fletching, isn't going to be viable. You can still do it. Like, you can still chop a log to your heart's content, but you can't chop anything past normal until you've unlocked the skill. So getting on from that, I don't think... So talking about bottlenecking skills as well, I don't think farming's going to be one that we unlock straight off the bat. I don't see us being locked to having to wait for timers as soon as the game starts, you know? I haven't got to sit there and wait an hour for my herbs to grow, because that's just slow gameplay, innit? And they don't want to make it tedious, like I've said. But that is a good one to then unlock once you've done, say, a load of Slayer, because Slayer gives you seeds, and, you know, you can go and make farm run, or do farm runs to your heart's content. And that kind of brings us on to kind of the next sort of theory, which is attack being one, because attack's probably the most vanilla out of the combat styles, let's face it. And also, if you're leveling up your attack, it means you can unlock better weapons. Strength doesn't really unlock things, but strength gives you higher hit potential. That's why I don't think strength is going to be one that we start off with. So I'm going to put a big old cross on that one. And another thing paired with attack, I could see hit points being one. I know I've said hit points, you know, you still start with 10. It's still, you know, you're not going to get one bang by many things. But you know, hit points could be one. And then the argument of prayer as well. Prayer, you know, it's worth its weight in gold with things like overheads and also eagle eye. Is it mystic might? I don't know, whatever it's called. Stat enhancing skills. But then again, you're not going to be using mystic might and eagle eye if you haven't got magic or range unlocked. But the overheads are, you know, game changing. You know, you use overheads all the bloody time if you've got them unlocked. But is prayer really a skill that you really want as soon as you start? Probably not, and that's why I'm dropping a fat old X on it. Another one that I've kind of seen is thieving. Thieving's worth its weight in gold because thieving is a moneymaker. Thieving is a way to gather food. Thieving's great. Thieving's great for early game. And thieving then could be used in turn for magic, because if you're generating money, you know, you can then go and buy as many runes as you like. But unless they do what they did with other things, you know, where they give shops where they're not bound to everyone, they're bound to use, you have to keep closing the shop and then it restocks. Otherwise, trying to buy runes is going to be mental. Imagine going into Varrock rune store trying to buy 5 fire runes, but you've got 20 other people who are buying out the shop left, right and centre. It's going to be a pain, and especially if you haven't got runecrafting, you can't make your own runes. And, you know, you could say the argument of if you have Slayer, you then get in runes from Slayer. But we've already gone through Slayer. It's probably not going to be one that we start off with. So I don't think we're going to be starting with magic. It was one that I was thinking straight away. Maybe a pairing of magic, agility, and hit points. But I can't see it. I can't see magic. And for that reason, we're putting a big old X on magic. Because you're still not locked. You still can't get trapped somewhere because you've still got the home teleport. And especially if there's relics that will give you teleports as well. I don't see the use initially, you know? I don't see the use. Okay. So we're now getting on to our last 3. Or last 2 that we could cross off. I think it would be weird to start off with Herblore, especially if, like we said, we're not going to have farming. Herblore, yeah, you can get herbs from when you kill men and women. They drop herbs quite a lot, especially if you know me and that house that's in not Riverdale, what's it called? Rimington. The house in Rimington, the death house, where it's the 2 people upstairs and they drop Renar weeds like they're going out of fashion. But I do not think it's going to be one that we start off with. It's a slow skill, okay? And like I said, they don't want it to be tedious. And for that reason, I think we can drop a fat X on it. Now we kind of get down to the last 4, okay? One's got to go. One's going to get gulagged right now until later date when you unlock it. Like I said, thieving. Thieving's pretty beautiful, especially if we're going to start in... Like, we don't know where we're starting yet, okay? But thieving, wherever we start in Gillinor, there's normally people you can pickpocket early game, like men and women, right? And if we start in, say, Ardoin, which I think personally is going to be a really good shout for where we start, Ardoin Cake stalls, okay? You've got Ardy Knights there. Cake stall sorts you out for early game food, okay? Ardy Knights, once you get to that, the money comes rolling in. You're going to be a gillionaire, okay? As soon as you get to that level. Especially if they're going to increase drop rate, what you get through drops as well, which I think is going to be a thing. Don't quote me on that, but I think is going to be a thing. That's why I think thieving is one of the three. One of the three amigos that we're going to be starting off with. I think it's going to be ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's what we're going to be starting off with as one of our three. Okay, we now got 3 left. Again, one's got to go. I think agility is going to be one of the ones that we do start off with. Okay, agility unlocks shortcuts. Shortcuts are great for getting around. I think it will be... When I was thinking about it, I thought it was kind of going to be dependent on if we get that unlimited run energy, like we've had in the last in Trailblaze, and then it was an unlockable one, but it was a one that everyone unlocked in Twisted League, and I think it's going to be the same case again where we get unlimited run energy. However, it was pretty funny watching everyone do the Draenor course on the start of Trailblazer last time. And if we start in, say, Treenome Stronghold, agility is a great one to start with because that's where you start off agility. I do think agility is going to be one. It's just such a game unlocking skill with things like I said, shortcuts. So I'm going to put a big old tick on agility. Okay, I think agility is definitely going to be one. Now we're down to the last 2. Okay, personally, I don't think it makes sense for us to not give us some sort of combat skill. I think it's a bit combat skill. I think it's to be 2 skilling things and 1 combat. We've only got 1 proper combat left. Okay, and that is attack. Now attack is probably the most vanilla out of all the combat stats, right? When it comes to actually hitting things and getting XP for it. And that's why I think it's going to be not strength, not defense, not range because it requires resources, and not magic because it requires resources. Attack is really easy. You just walk up to something and hit it. Yeah, you don't even need a sword. But I just think attack, out of all the combat stats, because we're going to start with 1 combat stat, is probably the best one to go forward with. And you might say, oh, but if you're getting combat XP, you're going to get hit points XP. But if in, say, Deadman mode, and if you've got 200 mil XP in a skill, you get the little cancelled out XP drops. Now, I think that's going to be the case with hit points, until you unlock it, obviously. So I don't think we're going to be starting with hit points. So, the 2 long didn't read. Attack, agility, thieving. I think those are the 3, because they open up the game so much. There's no bottlenecks on them. I think they are going to be the 3. Alright, because with pickpocketing, you can pick... about 1 million people can pickpocket the same person, pour them at the same time. They're going to go skint, but the good thing is, skint isn't a thing with NPCs. They don't run out of things. So we can pickpocket till our heart's content. Which means it's our first moneymaker. You know, we can generate revenue. Yeah, so that's why I think thieving, agility unlocks the game, gets around easier. They want to make things less tedious. Agility does that. Attack, we're going to have a combat stat because we're going to need to do bossing and things like that. So, bossing seems to be the main point of this league because of the whole unlocking bossing. You know, that kind of seems like the premise of the whole thing, because you have to pick and choose what bosses you want to do. But yeah, these are the final... Hold on, I'm going to put it in mid-screen. It worked. These are what I think we're going to be looking like, or this is what we're going to be looking like as we start the league. These are going to be our stats, or skills, what we're going to be allowed to do. Again, like I said, you can go fishing, but you just won't get any XP, so you're going to be fishing shrimp forever. But yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Use the comment section of this video to discuss. I mean, this is the whole beauty of theory crafting, is it's an open book. Everyone's got their own opinions, and I'd love to hear them. But if this is your first video on the channel, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, join the Discord as well. We're going to be helping each other through the whole of the Leagues event when it starts over on the Discord. It was a blast last time. It was a blast the time before. So get involved. Go and check out the other two lads' videos, We Skill Now and Only Trousers as well. Again, be in the description. But I'm going to stop rambling, let you guys go. And yeah, stay safe and bye.